Hey, bet you weren't expecting this, except I totally talked about it on Twitter. Alright, let's erase this file, because we are going to be starting Azure Striker Gunvolt. Ta-da! And this is a good-ass game. I really do enjoy this game a lot. I do have a warning, though. There are a lot of voice-acted cutscenes, and I'm probably going to be pretty silent on the majority of them, and instead focusing on, like, when the gameplay starts, talking about how the gameplay functions. You know, stuff like that. So, let's get into it. Start up a new file. And let's get going. Now, this is a game created by Creates. Few years ago. It's a 3DS game, but now it's on the Switch.
どうテロリストの少年電磁ムチのお味は私たちスメラギグループに歯向かうなんておバカちゃんね目的はうちの天皇アイドルモルフォちゃんのデリートいや抹殺ってところかしら今や企業の広告塔の枠を超えて大勢の人たちに愛される国民的バーチャルアイドルサイバーディーバモルフォ私も大好き新曲は速攻ダウンロードしてるわだけど残念モルフォちゃんは今頃輸送列車の中よ絶望したフェザーの目論みなんて全部お見通しってわけこれは尋問なんかじゃないのあなたみたいな可愛い子をいたぶりたかっただけつまりは趣味さあ少年いい声で泣いてプリーズ
そうかターゲットはもうここにはいないか
無傷高圧電流を流した電磁ムチなのよなんで平然としていられるの
僕に電撃は効かない
この内向はまさかセブンス
死にたくないならそこでおとなしくしていてください
雷撃のセブンスまさかあなたガンボルト
さようなら変態のおじさん情報提供感謝するよコードネーム GV ガンボルトよりシープ3回線開いて
こちらシープ3無事だったのねガンボルト
ええチームに情報の修正をターゲットサイバーディーバは別のポイントに移動中これから施設を脱出ミッションを継続してターゲットを追いかけます
ちょっと本気罠の可能性だって低くないのよ
こちらシープ3だ了解した GV はそのままミッションを継続シープ3は情報をキャッチ次第こちらへ連絡を回してくれ
分かったわ GV 無茶もほどほどにね
シープ2も目標を変更 GV のサポートを頼む
ヘイヘイこちらシープス2聞こえてるぜまいつも通りってことでシープス2からガンボルトへ命は大事にしなそうすりゃ一生使えんぜ
了解全処するよ
全処するって本当に分かってんのかね
これよりサイバーディーバ抹殺ミッションを再開するグッドラック
Alright, now that the mission has started, I can talk about the gameplay, but first and foremost, I am going to change the controls. I'm going to change dash to ZL, going to change flash field to ZR. Because I like the triggers on the Switch's controller more than like on the Joy-Cons, more than I like it on, or more than like the shoulder buttons. Alright, so Azure Striker Gunvolt, this is an action game created by Creates. If it looks a lot like Mega Man Zero, well, there's a good reason for that. A lot of the staff that worked on this game were also the staff that worked for Intercrates on the Mega Man Zero and ZX series. And I believe this game is also produced by Keiji Inafune, which is, you know, another indicator of it being a Mega Man-ish game. Now, they're going to be talking about, like, the gameplay flow on the bottom screen as well, but the game's pretty simple. You can run, you can jump, you've got a dash button right from the beginning, you can switch out your different weapons once you get them. If I zap it with my flash field, it'll be up and running again. It's a little bit of a gameplay knowledge here. Basically, the objective on fighting enemies is to tag them with your gun, and then zap them, using your flash field. So the flash field has a few different applications, and I'll be talking about that in a little bit. But right now it's telling us about, like, our EP gauge, and the fact that every time we use the flash field, or take a hit when we're not using the flash field, for the prevasion ability, which I can also talk about in a bit, we run out of EP, and if we do that, we'll overheat and won't be able to use any kind of electrical powers for, well, until we recharge. Now, thankfully, we have the ability to manually recharge by double tapping down on the D-pad or control stick or whatever you're doing. So the gameplay flow is pretty simple. Tag 'em and bag 'em. I'm gonna be taking a little bit of time here just to, like, show off the gameplay. Like, you can kind of slow your descents by using the flash field as well. And the flash field does do damage to enemies, but it does very little of it. You really need to tag them with your gun in order to actually, like, do solid damage to it. Now, another big thing about this is that if you kill multiple enemies at the same time with your flash field, you'll also get, like, additional points. Gunvolt actually has a scoring system in place where killing enemies with a full strike, so tagging them 3 times until the meter turns red, and then killing them is worth a point bonus. Killing multiple enemies at the same time is worth a point bonus. And there's a lot of ways to kind of go about the scoring system. So you notice that, you know, we've got a pretty decent amount of score here, and every time we kill an enemy, we get a multiplier on this as well. You want the multiplier, obviously, to get as high as possible. It'll help you increase your score. More than just that, I believe it's after 1,000 points, we also start getting, like, crazy bonuses going on. In fact, I think I might skip over the first checkpoint. I might touch the microphone on accident while itching my nose. Skip the first checkpoint to show something off. There we go. So checkpoints can actually be skipped in Gunvolt, and you might be thinking, well, what's the point of that? The answer to that is it actually helps increase your score. Okay, so it's not after 1,000, it's after 2,000, I guess. But you notice, like, our score multiplier is very high right now, 40.4. And it does get higher. So another example of the tag 'em and bag 'em style is going to be in this boss fight. Now, the safest thing to do is cash in your points. And your points can be cashed in by performing an offensive skill, I'll talk about that in a bit, or by hitting a checkpoint. Now, if you get hit 3 times in this version, or 1 time if you're using the Fearless score system or playing the original 3DS version, you lose your current points. So it's best to cash in. It's basically like a risk versus reward system. Like, how many points do you really want? I'm going a little bit slow here to explain some of the things in this. Like, normally I go through this stage pretty quickly, but there's some dialogue to talk about. There's she was totally one of my waifus. Forgot about that line. Alright.
人々の希望心の拠り所だと
See, it's oh right, kind of wait for you to lower your
多
shield.
くの同胞たちがスメラギに捕らえられ
There we go. So you'll notice that I'm like tagging enemies 3 times before I kill them. That deals the most damage. Not just the damage from like the bullets, but also every level of tag increases the amount of damage you deal. As well as like the obvious, oh, you get full points for doing the full strike. So if you want to deal damage to things, do full power. Go all in. It's the way to go. And if you lose all your money on Salty Bet, well, maybe don't go all in. Well, if you've lost all your money on Salty Bet, there's not that much to lose. So, see, we can also just whittle that guy down, but we don't get very many points for that. Oh god, I forgot about lasers. Now, there is another thing about the gameplay as well. Oh, no, right, we cashed in. That's fine, because this is the end of the stage as well. The other thing to talk about with the gameplay is our offensive skill. Well, I mean, it's one of the many things to talk about with the gameplay. Our offensive skills, which I will actually show off in this fight, presumably. There we go. So took a hit from Prevasion, but on the other hand, boom! Got a bonus for that, got a secret bonus for that. And if I had any points at that point, it would also cash in my score for later. So I did pretty decent score-wise, but not that great time-wise, and I also got the last little thing in the stage, which is also something I occasionally miss. So let's see how I did. I'm not going to be going for like high score runs or anything like that, like, oh, all S ranks run, because see, we're getting an A rank right then. The faster you clear a stage, the bigger the score multiplier at the end is as well. So it's basically like a risk versus reward thing. Destroy as many enemies as you can, and also try to complete the stage as fast as possible. Alright, so we got 1,000... Alright, 1,100 money. 5 Grame Cultures. 2, just gonna call those Kiwis. And 2 Nanochip 98s. Those are important items. I'll talk about why they're important later. For now, though, there's plot.
私はこの子の思いが具現化したモルフォという名の幻。あなたプロダクションの人間じゃないんでしょ。お願い、この子を私をここから連れ出してくれない？
こちら GV ターゲットと接触しました。再度情報の修正を。サイバーディーバはプログラムデータなんかじゃない。小さな女の子のセブンスです。
何ですって？
少女に敵対意思はなし。スメラギに拘束されているものと思われます。
スメラギのやつらえげつねえことしやがるぜ。
これよりミッション内容を変更。彼女を救助。
いや、変更はしない。その子を抹殺しろ GV。
アシモフ。
すぐにスメラギの増援が来る。君は罠かもしれない少女を抱えたまま戦うつもりか？仮に無事に済んだとしてその後はどうする？フェザーに武装組織に彼女の居場所があるのか？
それは。
それなら私を殺してください。もうあの人たちのための歌は、みんなを苦しめる歌は歌いたくない。だからいっそ私を殺してください。
この子 あの頃の僕と同じだ。アシモフに助けてもらったあの頃の。迷うことはない。簡単に命を投げ出すな。君が自由を望むのなら僕が力を貸す。僕は君を助けたい。君の本当の願いは何？
私は外の世界で私の歌を歌いたい。
オーケー、それが君の願いなんだね。アシモフ、僕はフェザーを抜ける。かつてあなたが僕に自由をくれたように、今度は僕が彼女の力になる。
それがお前の選んだ自由か、ガンボルト。
え
了解だ。組織に規律を乱す者は不要。これよりコードネーム GV をフェザーから除名する。
ちょっと2人とも何を言っているの？
そうだぜ2人とも、どうかしてるんじゃねえか。
いいんだモニカさん。ジーノも今までありがとう。
スメラギの増援部隊は我々フェザーに任せてもらおう。今の君は我々フェザーとは関係のない一般市民だ。戦いに巻き込むわけにはいかん。グッドラック。
ありがとうアシモフ。
羽？あなたは天使？
僕は GV ガンボルト。君の名前は？
私はシアンです。これが私と GV の出会いでした。私はきっと生涯忘れることはないでしょう。私に自由をくれた青の翼のことを。たとえその自由が束の間のものだったとしても。
Alright. So we got a little bit more lore to talk about here. So basically this is going to be talking about like, oh, there's this big conglomerate known as Sumeragi, and basically there's humans with like psychic powers that are called adepts. And Sumeragi is like trying to control all the adepts. Because they're the bad guys. Nowadays, Sumeragi is a large conglomerate of power companies. Their monopoly on the nation's energy supply gave them clout. Also, get used to slanty text, because this game has a lot of slanty text. Gunvolt 2 also has a lot of slanty text as well. So basically, much like the real world, corporations are evil.
?こちら GV フェザーへ任務完了しました。
お疲れ様 GV。ねえ GV、結局のところあなたが受ける依頼ってほとんどうちからのものなんだし、またフェザーに帰ってくる気はないの？
フェザーからの依頼は見入りがいいから受けているだけですよ。あの時アシモフが言った通りです。フェザーにシアンの居場所はない。彼女には家族が必要だと思うんです。僕にとってのアシモフやモニカさんたちがそうだったみたいに。だから今は彼女についていてあげたいと思います。
分かったわ。ごちそうさま。シアンちゃんによろしくね。
ごちそうさまって別にそういうわけじゃ。さて家に戻ったけど、まずはシアンに挨拶かな。
おかえりなさい GV。 お仕事お疲れ様。本当は私も何かできたらいいんだけど。
シアンは十分に僕の力になってくれているさ。こうやって君と話をしてからミッションに行くと、ミッションで倒れた時にモルフォの歌が聞こえてくることがある。そんな時は僕はもう一度立ち上がって戦うことができるんだ。
GV 私たちはいつも GV のことを思っているから、それがあなたに伝わっているのかもね。モルフは引っ込んでて。はいはい、じゃあまたね GV。 そうだ GV、 セーブまだしてないでしょ。このゲームはオートセーブじゃないからこまめにセーブしなきゃダメだよ。
了解。セーブは L ボタンでメニューを開いて行うんだったな。
また私と話したくなったら L ボタンのメニューからトークルームを選んでね。
Alright. So that cutscene actually talked a little bit about another gameplay mechanic here. But first off, we're gonna save. It's lovely. We can save. And said gameplay mechanic is actually when Gunvolt runs out of health. Occasionally, depending on how much of a bond you've given or you've had with Jewel, you'll actually be able to revive back to full health if you die, and you'll get a power boost too. But it happens random chance. I don't actually remember the odds for it to happen. All I know is that talking to Jewel before mission will increase the odds that during your next mission you'll be able to get back up again. It also overrides the background music as well. But that's neither here nor there. How are we doing on time? You know what? I can do another stage. So we've got 6 stages to go through here. The subaquatic base, the data store, the stratacombs, the media tower, the biochem plant, and the pharma lab. I'm gonna do the subaquatic base first, just to get it out of the way. So before each mission, you can review the mission details, kind of the in-lore stuff. And you can choose your score multiplier style as well. Gutless means that you do not have a strong score multiplier at all. Cautious is the default style for the striker pack, and it allows you to take 3 hits before you lose all your points. And Fearless makes it so that you lose your points whenever you're hit, but the score multiplier is increased. So Fearless is best for doing high score runs if you've memorized the stages. Cautious is pretty much just the standard, and it's how the scoring works in Gunvolt 2 as well. And Gutless is pretty much the beginner mode. But I'm gonna be sticking on Cautious. Now, another thing I do want to talk about as well is the challenges, which I'll probably do off screen. But there are little challenges that you can do in the menu that will give you different points or different items depending on how you clear the missions. I'll talk about the items after this next stage. You know, we can do a challenge here. Field training, defeat 10 enemies on a mission. That sounds easy enough. So subaquatic base, we've got our field training 1 mission. Let's start Abyss. So I kind of wanted to get this stage out of the way first because it's the water stage, the prerequisite water level. And it already starts with some kind of annoying enemies like these rotor guys. There's nobody down there. So basically, like, one of the big gimmicks here is these elevators that just go up and down. They're not too much of a threat, but actual threatening gimmicks will come in later. Let's do that. Now, one thing I didn't cover as well was that the flash field is useful for a few reasons, and one of those reasons is because it actually nullifies certain types of oh god, I forgot there wasn't floor there. It nullifies certain kinds of projectile attacks. So like the rockets that those guys shoot, they're classified as a physical projectile and therefore can be zapped out of the air with our flash field. Whether those energy bullets, we can't do anything to those. We actually have to go out of our way to avoid them. And there's our first overheat. First of probably many. So there we go. We'd used the checkpoint, cashed in our score. So let's continue along. Now there's a path up there as well, and I am completely blanking on how to get to that. I think a little bit late. Alright, here I think we can actually attempt to reach it. Problem is... No, I can't even get Gunvolt's, like, foot up to that area. So we're gonna have to come back when we get access to a double jump. Now, there are certain pieces of equipment that Gunvolt can equip, obviously, that actually allow him to do specific things. So a double jump is one of them. There's also, like, an air dash you can get. You can even do, like, triple jump, or one of them even allows you to just jump an infinite amount of times in the air. But all of these mid-air actions basically cost EP. So it's like you use a little bit of your resource here to get like a mobility option. It's basically like, oh, you want to stock all your meter in order to do damage, but you also gotta Roman cancel that shit to make it safe. You know, stuff like that. So there is meter management in this game that's pretty important. There's also a lovely little secret down there. How do I get to it is the question. Because I can't run past that. Unfortunately, the pistons on the elevators are solid objects. And as far as I'm aware, there's no way to get down there. Unless this warp tunnel will give us... Also get used to those warp tunnels. The wormholes in this stage are actually tied to a challenge as well. There's a challenge that you can do where basically you have to get through the stage by taking as few wormholes as possible. Which requires some memorization as they pop up at specific points. So you gotta be careful on that. Yeah, that didn't lead to where that item was. So, Gunvolt's flash field can also interact with certain objects in the environment as well. So these platforms, for instance, zap them and they rise. I believe you can also tag them? Yeah, there we go. And then send them flying. So, you know, they've got the little trap there to demonstrate that. So we found the hexapile for this area. Time to go on to the next stage. The second half. Touch the checkpoint, that resets our tries, and... This is unfortunately like the most annoying bit of this stage, and this is why I wanted to do this stage first. The rising water section. I am probably gonna take some damage there, but it's fine. There's another checkpoint there just in case you wanted it. Oh no 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 no.
その基地にはスメラギの人間も大勢いるのよ。
連中のやりそうなことじゃないですか。
なんだよこれ。聞いてないぞ。
こんなシャッターに構っている暇はない。
We absolutely do not have time for this.
急いで。
I'll just use this to kill.
ライトニングスフィア。
Shoot. So the bad thing about the water is, A, you can drown by running out of air. Although there's not like an air gauge that appears, it's just that after you've been in water for a set amount of time, Gunvolt starts taking damage. But another thing about that is, you can't use your electricity in the water. You automatically short out if you try to use the flash field in the water.
テロリストと仲良く海の木屑になるなんてな。
Alright, so we've reached the top, and there we go.
よかった GV。
So I can demonstrate that here too. So see, we automatically disperse in the water. Thanks, GP, for giving me the word I was trying to think of. Now, I didn't cover this, but there's also a system in this game called prevasion. If we get hit by an attack when we're not expending EP, we'll actually prevade the attack. Basically meaning that we lose one of our tries for the kudos modifier, but we don't take damage. Now, I could sit here and fight all the enemies in this enemy gauntlet. I really could. In fact, it's a good idea. But you know what's an even better idea? Just killing that siren down there. Certain skills are capable of reaching through walls, so killing that siren there, pretty easy when you use the astrosphere. Now, I'll talk a little bit about the other skills as well as they come up as we, like, obtain them, because a lot of them are obtained simply by leveling Gunvolt up. There is a level system in this game, and you actually do get a little bit stronger when you use it. Every time you level up, your health slightly increases. Other than that, like, new parts may become available as well as you level up. So see, we're level 5. So we've got 20 more health than we started the game with. And it does add up a little bit. But that's neither here nor there. We've got our first boss fight here. First major boss fight against one of the Sumeragi 7.
溺れ死んでてくれれば楽だったのに。ねえ、これってさ、もしかしなくても僕が戦わなきゃならない流れ？
お前がここの司令官か。
なんだよもう。マジになんないでよ。はいはい、そうだよ。天才司令官メラク様ってのは僕のことね。帰ってネトゲしたいからサクッとやっちゃおうか。はあ。あ。よっ。そんじゃまやりますか。ゆるゆるっとね。
Alright, so in case you didn't know what the hell just happened there, members of Sumeragi are adepts that use glaives that power themselves up. Each one of these glaives kind of gives them a boost in their power, so that's like the sword thing he lifted up. So normally he wouldn't be able to do like nearly as much damage as he's doing right now. But since he's using the power of a glaive that enhances his septimal powers, I got the term for it for a second. Oh, that's the wrong way. It's a good thing we have prevasion. There we go. So again, these like semi-Hadoken missiles that he's shooting at.
僕のセブンスまで使ったのに
Let's try to avoid that.
バカな部下のせいで
Merak is one of the easier bosses, but
スイッチとか押しちゃうかなそれほんと困っちゃうよねこれだから雑魚キャラは使いづらいんだよ
alright, there we go.
やれや
So once we've gotten him down to his third life bar,
消えないよ
he actually will start using a desperation attack. Every boss has a desperation attack of sorts, and they can be a little bit tough to avoid. There are some of them that I just like
はいはい
cheese through with like iframes and such, because some of the skills do give you invulnerability.
飛ばしアームドブルーライトニングスピア
There we go. So we got a bonus for finishing him off with Astrosphere as well. And that is one member of the Sumeragi 7 down. And there are little plot details that you may have noticed in like the Star Fox banter on the bottom as well.
これから
I
戻ります
won't be talking about much of those because it just happens while I'm trying to focus on the gameplay, but if you guys want a little bit more world building, it's there for you. Don't worry. So unfortunately we didn't get a good clear time. Well, okay, that's an alright clear time, but we did get an A rank regardless. Now you get multiple different bonus tries when you have different ranks as well. So you got the 5 bonus tries for A rank and 1 from picking up a bonus try in the stage. And we obtained the Naga and the jewel that we found in the stage as well. I had received a voicemail from Zeno.
GV 聞いたぜナガだったか新しいダートカートリッジを手に入れたんだってな当たり前だがダートは装備しなければ使えねえぜま、お約束ってやつあとはあれだ素材ミッションをクリアした時に素材アイテムを手に入れなかったか素材アイテムがたくさん集まればショップで新しい装備アイテムを開発できるんだ装備とショップどっちも L ボタンでメニューを開けば行えるぜ
Alright, so Zeno there was also talking about, like, the different materials that we can get and kind of taking it to the dealers, so talk a little bit about that now. The dealer allows us to either create gear or sell materials for money. Now, we're good on money right now, but we're not good on gear. But we can get the boost band, which allows us to double jump while jumping. It costs 150 EP to use the double jump, but it's a double jump. So it can come in handy during a lot of the platforming, and we'll probably be seeing a little bit of that. Getting the most basic thing in one of the equipment slots will also open up like a ton of different options as well. So we can get like the double boost band, a traction ring, or the boost band plus next time. And each one of these takes different items as well. So this allows us to do a triple jump, this allows us to air dash, and this allows us to double jump, but it costs a lot less EP. There's 4 different types of equipment that we can get outside of like our dart type. So there's eye equipment like contact lenses that give us certain things, ring equipments that give us mobility options, and medallions, which give us like different damage reduction skills. Oh, I said 4 because I was counting the guns. Oh, and there's guns. Different guns. We'll also talk about those later. Alright, but for now, I think that's a good time to end this episode off here. So I will see you guys in the next one, where we're gonna get a little bit less plot, but hopefully take on a little bit more of Sumeragi. See you guys then.